I threw my phone in a fucking river. And I just came out there. It was beeping and it was buzzing all the time, and I couldn't make it stop. And I just, I had to make a change. So I'm out here way out in the woods without a phone, and all I've got now is this comically large lighter, this cooking pot, and a backpack full of beads. And, and my gnome from home, Jerome. Here we are, totally disconnected from modern life. Woo! Free from the shackles of the 6-inch slab of Gorilla Glass, which buzzes and flashes and hypnotizes my mind. You see, I'm just not about that life anymore. It's all become too difficult. Why couldn't it be simpler? You guys want to make some beans?
Yeah.
Yes. Bean time. Great! Now we wait. Just making beans. I'm out here making beans. I'm out here just making beans. Life's as simple as it seems. No one's talking about vaccines or models here to sell you creams. I'm tired of these angry teens, addicted to their small machines. They're sending pictures of their peens. They're trying to get attention by the weeds. The internet is difficult. Why is it so hard? The internet is horrible. All it does is harm. The wilderness is wonderful. I come out here to breathe. The wilderness is beautiful. It'll never make me see. Those beans are smelling really good. Those beans are smelling so good. It makes me want to make some dessert. Now, we just met each other, but I make a really good campfire apple pie. But all I have is this backpack full of beans. So, we're gonna have to find an apple tree. I guess we're gonna have to start from scratch here. But, that's actually not that much of a problem, because the late great physicist Carl Sagan once said, if you truly wish to make an apple pie from scratch, you must first invent the universe.
I am the ghost of Carl Sagan. Oh, let's do this. Rewind. Here we are, 14 billion years ago. At this point, everything you have ever seen or known, the entire universe, is contained in a singular point. And this point is a billion times smaller than a single atom. And this point is incredibly hot, dense, and volatile because in this tiny point there are black holes forming disappearing and forming again, which is a lot to handle for a very small amount of space. And because this point is so hot, dense, and volatile for a tiny amount of space, the universe begins to expand. It begins expanding in a sponge-like foam filled with quarks, subatomic particles, or collections of something, as opposed to nothing, which there is a lot of at this time. These tiny particles, due to the nature of gravity in their vacuum, begin to move closer and closer together, forming protons and neutrons. And as the universe expands, it cools at an equal rate, allowing the electrons of this space to slow down enough to attach themselves to these protons and neutrons, forming the first three elements: hydrogen, helium, and lithium. And these three elements form stars, hot, shiny orbs of weight in space, collecting rocks to orbit around them. And each of these rocks are unique. Some of these rocks are icy, some of these rocks are hot, some of the rocks have life, and most of them do not. But one of these rocks, a pale blue dot, is perfect by design to start developing organisms feeding off sunshine. And these organisms will evolve to both swim and roam the earth, and now we've lengthened our life expectancy to not die right after birth and live longer lives in search for purpose, which won't get you very far when you realize we're all subservient, submissive to our star. But there is a fine line that some of us find that doesn't actually make sense. Sure, this world will kill you, but is it murder or self-defense? There's a delicate balance between joy and pain that sews together our string theory.
These hard facts are leaving me soft brain. I'm starting to notice it's dreary. And I'm starting to look at the evidence of what literally makes up our whole world. And the random sequencing of events, it devolves my mind to a blur.
But the universe keeps expanding and growing to no end. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense, or at least we have to pretend.
Sometimes I think about money and what the fuck that is. And why does he have more than me? Could I kill him for some of his? And sometimes I think about borders. And really, guys, they're not real. It's a concept by countries developed for warfare and finding materials to steal.
But does stealing really matter? Or is it just part of this expansion? And as the universe continues to grow, maybe it's all planned in it. Sometimes you have to think larger than myself. And remember, you don't matter. And after you're sad, you might just go mad.
My ego has just been shattered. Free markets and taxes, consumerist practice, pretending it's all commanding, but soon it will be done and nobody won.
Because the universe keeps expanding and growing to no end. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense, or at least we have to pretend.
So, I know where we came from, and I know where we're all going, and it's at best that one day we'll all be fucked when our star, the sun, starts growing. And I know I'm starting to lose it. Okay, my mind is falling apart because I think there might be more to life than your stupid graphs and charts.
You see, there are things that you know, but there are things you are not understanding, because all that seems to matter is the universe keeps expanding and growing to no end. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense. Or at least we have to pretend. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense. Or at least we have to pretend. Oh my God, it all makes sense. It has to make sense. Or at least we have to pretend. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense. Or at least we have to pretend. And it all makes sense. It has to make sense. Or at least we have to pretend. One thing I'll say is there's 2 ways out when the universe is finally done. It will either freeze in place forever, or contract back into normal.
Is that what it's all been working towards? What it's all been about?
Sometimes I cry. Scream if I want. Today, I think I'll shout.
Ah! Why do I do this? Why do I even try? This is a craft. But now that I've got going, I don't think I can go back.
Yeah, the apple pie. The apple pie, it's a shame that you forgot it. But if I search for what really matters, I think the pie is not it. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known.
You know, I was hoping he would eventually get to the pie recipe part of all of that. That's just not how it goes sometimes. So, our beans are actually almost done, so why don't we just enjoy our beans and call it a night?
Archetype of a Coyote.
Okay, listen. You can have my beans if you promise not to eat me, okay?
Relax, sonny, I heard you are an archetype, not an animal.
Okay. You're an archetype. What does that mean?
It's just what I am.
Okay. So then what do you want?
I want to trick you. Here. Welcome to my office. Step into the woods. I'm the top dog around here. Listen very closely and hear my advice, cause I can survive anywhere. The woodlands of the northeast, the deserts of the southwest, or even moving into the city. We're taking names and habitats, moving forward, never back, wherever we can to sit pretty. A coyote's got one thing in mind, always tripping humankind. Coyotes kill and coyotes cheat. That's why coyotes can't be beat. Problems real quick. Everybody's problems, except for your own. That's why you're campaigning all alone. Did I hit the mark? I don't tend to miss it. When I hit a boo-boo, I don't tend to kiss it. I'm a psychic perfection, getting precision. You need my help, I'll be in a vision. I'll leave you with this, and being on my way. One thing matters
Dry. Some liquid sunshine! A surprise to my night, I feel it pouring on my head. I love liquid sunshine. It's feeling just right to remind me that I am not dead. I've never been one to mind the rain, never felt any need to complain. There's water in our atmospheric planes, and sometimes it falls from the sky. The clouds in the air, they will do what they do. I cannot stop them, and neither can you. So what can we do but sit the storm through and try to enjoy it while it happens? God's in the sky, and he's got a piss. When he's got to go, he does it like this, and you're in amidst the sensations of bliss. God, I love his golden showers. Aqua comes down and dehydrates the land. Plants slurp it up like pores in a gland, and taller they grow, and taller they stand. Without it, they'd be dead. And out here alone, it reminds me of home, or any place I've been where it's rained. The nice thing with rain is it all feels the same, and the feeling is it's wet. Oh, look at that. Stop there. At this point, I'm going to tell you all a story. You see, there have been many stories told about young men entering the woods and leaving as a changed person. Some of these stories are inspiring. Some of these stories are, deeply reflective. Some of these stories are funny, but the story I'm going to tell you tonight, well, this story is... This is a scary story. So back at the edge of these woods, before I went out here camping, I stopped in a dive bar. And from the moment I walked in, there was an old man staring down the bottom of a pint glass, and I had a feeling this guy had a story to tell. And boy, was I right, because as soon as I walked in, he goes, "Heed my warning, all who dare enter these here woodlands. Turn back, unless you are prepared to see a horror more terrifying than you could possibly imagine." So I was absolutely right about this guy having a story. The bartender tried to cut him off, but this old man replied, "Cut me off, I don't care. The boy deserves to know the truth. I'm going outside to smoke a cigarette. If the boy wants to know the secrets of these woodlands, he can follow me outside and heed my warning." The bartender said to me, don't mind Bugsy. He's just an old drunk entomologist. I thought he was more of an old fisherman. But, I thought he had a story, and I don't smoke, but I had to see where all of this was going. So I follow him outside, and he's already got a cigarette hanging out the side of his mouth, and he's looking up at the stars. And he says to me, "Ever since the dawn of time, mankind has looked up to the skies and wondered, where did we come from? Some say that we've always been here. Some say we were created by God. More recently, they say we're super advanced monkeys. But the true answer to this question, which I have the deep misfortune to know, is more terrifying than anyone could possibly ever imagine." But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Where does the story actually begin? I was a freshman college. I had an entomology research internship planned for the summer. It was in this here woods. When I arrived, instead of beginning my internship, I found my mentor scientist's body slaughtered. Their heads were separated from their bodies. Their arms were at least 8 feet away from each other, and there was blood everywhere. It was horrific, more horrific than my naive little freshman mind could handle. And the queerest thing about all of this was there was a trail of slime leading further into the woods. For some reason, I decided to follow it. I'd been following this trail of slime for just about 2 hours when I looked around and noticed, all of the trees around me are consistently 4 feet wide. Now, 1 or 2 trees around you in these woods, you know, they're 4 feet wide, that's nothing crazy, but for them all to be 4 feet wide, I thought this was a bit peculiar, but, you know, I walk a little further, they all become 5 feet wide, you know, I walk a little further, they all become 6 feet wide, 7 feet wide, 8 feet wide, 9 feet wide, 10 feet wide, 12 feet wide, and 14 and 16, all the way to 20 feet wide trees. And it just keeps getting wider as I keep walking further. We go from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. I'm not kidding, these trees were 50 feet wide. We walk further, 60, 70, 80. What? The widest tree in the world is only supposed to be 80 feet wide. Supposedly, because then you walk a little further, they're all 90 feet wide, 100, 110, and the rocks were getting bigger too. And at one point, I saw an ant the size of an elephant. And then there was a clearing. Inside this clearing was a city, unlike anything I had ever seen. It was clearly a pre-human remnant, forgotten by time. I could tell this because the markings on the walls were unlike any language I'd ever seen in modernity or before this, and there were tools. There were tools that were broken, but I had no idea how to comprehend how they worked. And the strangest thing about this city, other than it being surrounded by 110 feet wide trees and it existing, was that it was all organized to aim towards a central tower. And the slime led me directly towards this. I started ascending this central tower for 40 stories, like climbing up a lighthouse, until the slime peered off into a small, cavernous room. At this point, Bugsy stopped. He looked me right in the eyes, and he said, "Are you ready to know, kid?" I nodded. Inside of this room was a horrific, well, the only way to describe it is an amorphous blob of something. You see, its body was made up of genetic material, like stem cells or something, because arms and legs would pop out of it, go in and out, generate and regenerate. Its material would ebb and flow, and the most terrifying thing about this being was that it had one large, bloodshot, and pussy eye, and it stared directly into my soul. And it communicated one thing when I looked into its large eye, and that thing was, "Get out!" So I turn around and I run down the staircase as fast as I can, all 40 stories, and you know, I got out of there okay. Somehow. Why am I telling you this? Right. Ever since the dawn of time. Mankind has looked up to the skies and wondered, where do we come from? Some say that we've always been here. Some say we were created by God. More recently, they say we're super advanced monkeys. But the true answer to this question, which I have the terrible misfortune to know, is that we came from that. That thing was the thing of which all life sprang. It was our original creator, our Earth Mother. And the terrifying fact about it was it didn't care about us at all. In fact, it wanted us dead. So, now you know too. But at least you didn't have to experience it for yourself. He lights another cigarette. Inhale. Exhale. He hands me one. I take it. And to this day, I still wonder, like why the fuck he had to tell me this, I feel like there's something right behind me. Is there something right behind me? All right, I'm gonna look. The Amorphous Blob with one eye! You know what? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you, Amorphous Blob with one eye. The power of music compels me. Get out of here, Amorphous Blob. Get out of here. Go back where you came from. You ectoplasmy rascal. Get out of here. Who are you? We are the twin eternal God Kings of the wilderness and the atmosphere. And also. Cool. Every tree is an extension of my essence. Every animal carries a sliver of my soul. The winds, the leaves, and the exhalations of my breath. Oh, wow. We are the ones who possess the answers to the secrets which reside imprinted upon the geography of these deep woodlands. Super cool. What are you doing camping in our wilderness? I was doing just that. I was camping in your wilderness. Is that not okay? I thought that's what you do. What do you seek to learn on this just really like thinking about, what's going on? What's going on in like what's going on in like life? Life. That's what I'm seeking.
Can you be a little more specific?
Yeah, okay, of course. Alright, okay, I got like a specific question. So, what happens after you die? Could you tell me that? I'd really love to know that.
Those who have a mind have the capacity to understand that you are immortal.
Death is only death if you're overly attached to your body.
What? Really? How come everyone doesn't know this?
They cannot comprehend that reality is far stranger than anyone thinks.
If one thinks of themselves as their body, why wouldn't they think death means death?
Cool. Okay, here's another one. Where do we come from?
We come from the great androgynous light in the sky!
And when we learn the light's rays, we become the light.
Can I become this light?
Those who seek will not stop seeking until they find.
And once they find, they will be terrified.
But once they are terrified, they will marvel.
And then, after they marvel, they will rule over all.
Can I ask another question?
Sure.
How hard is it to become this great light?
Oh, it's nearly impossible to become this great light.
Yet, eventually, we will all become this great light, even if it takes trillions of life cycles.
There's no way that's a being like us become great light.
So, in summation, it is inconceivably hard, yet ultimately inevitable.
That's truly terrifying.
Yeah, you come around to it.
Perhaps it would be less terrifying if we were to tell you the ultimate secret of the universe! Are you ready?
Yes, I've never been more ready for anything in my entire life. Whoa. So, thank you. What do I do now? Jerome. The gnome from home. I guess it is time to go home.